What's going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we'll be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as MCO to Bitcoin. Otherwise, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications. We are doing a giveaway at 5,000 subscribers. We just broke 4,700, so we're definitely hitting 5K by the end of the month. Let's get some hype in that. Otherwise, we do have a lot to talk about today, and before you guys harass me with the negative comments of the market dropping, I do want to take a look at why that happened. There were some resistances that we couldn't break, and we did fall from that, and now I'm getting a lot of news saying that there's a lot of negative comments in that, and I do want to show you guys an article that basically explains kind of what happened potentially, as well as doing some technical analysis. So I just want to look at the coin market cap right now. I did refresh the page. You guys can see we have a Bitcoin dominance of 54.5%, which is slightly higher than yesterday, if not around the same price level. We have a 24-hour volume of 16.4 million, so that is quite low in my opinion. We're not seeing much volume right now. It is slightly higher than yesterday, mainly because of all the volume coming out. It's a lot of trading happening, and the market cap is 204 billion. So what a drop from where we saw it previously this week. We saw it at 240 billion. So I'm just shocked all around to see such a massive drop, and we're definitely going to talk about that in a second. But as you guys can see, the top 10 cryptocurrencies are down pretty. They're down a decent amount. Nothing down in double digits, which is quite nice to see. Wow, Bitcoin Diamond taking a massive hit, down 35%, but otherwise we are taking a slight dip. I know yesterday we were down a lot more than we are today, but you guys can see Bitcoin is now below that $7,000. You know, there's a $7,400 major resistance that we're going to look at. Ethereum down also 7%, cannot break 300. We got Litecoin at a $70 resistance. So we're seeing a lot of negative pressure right now in the market. But something to pay attention to is this article that I found on CNN. I don't think I've ever reviewed a CNN article, but this says Bitcoin bloodbath, cryptocurrency plunges 20% in 2 days, and it talks about what could have potentially led to this. Now, I know there's a lot of miscommunication, and there's a lot of things that I'm still trying to research. You know, whether obviously news has to be tied with the price action and movement within the prices, but the fact that it's timed at the same levels is quite interesting. Like, we could see a very strong resistance and a break downwards, but at the same time, a news article could come out that's potentially bearish. You know what I mean? So is it a fluke? Why do both of these things happen at the same time? I'm not potentially sure. You know, we do see, like, if I just show you guys Bitcoin, like, we do see the dip. Like, look right here, you can see that we hit the high-low middle moving average, the red band. That's kind of why we had this pullback. But at the same time, we also had news about that I'm going to read in a second that came out the same exact time of the pullback. So is it manipulation? Is it a coincidence that both of these things happen at the same time? I'm not too sure. I'm definitely going to try to research it and find out a little bit more. But it says Bitcoin investors are getting their digital butts kicked lately. Hard Bitcoin prices have plunged more than 20%. And it basically talks about Goldman Sachs told CNN Money, though, that it hadn't made a firm decision about Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies just yet. In response to client interest in various digital products, we are exploring how best to serve them in space. At this point, we have not reached a conclusion on the scope of our digital asset offering. So there's a lot of talk within this, like Goldman Sachs, basically having some sort of effect on the market, why that could potentially have been the dip. It says Ethereum, Litecoin, they all dropped. The reason for the latest pullback, a Business Insider reports that the investment banking giant Goldman Sachs may be dropping plans to launch a crypto trading desk. So why this potentially hurts the market in a bearish way is a little confusing to me. Maybe you guys have a little more info on that than what I found, but it's interesting that they both just kind of hit and impact the market at the same time. Like, negative news, which doesn't seem that negative, but news comes out and they're relaying this to the fact that the price movement drops the price. But, you know, if we look at Bitcoin right now, I mean, you guys can see why we fell. I mean, it makes a lot of sense to me. Obviously, I'm shocked we fell this much, you know, that the market was impacted this much. But it's very obvious as to why we fell. You know what I'm saying? Like Bitcoin right here fell because it tested an extremely strong resistance. We could not break above the red band, the high-low middle moving average, and we pulled back down. It's very simple technical analysis. It was definitely possible to experience a pullback when we hit that red band. I tell you guys, these high-low MMAs are very, very, very strong. They could be a very strong resistance and a very strong support. But I wasn't anticipating a movement of this size back downwards. But it can definitely happen, as we see. Again, this doesn't change my view on the market. I do think we're going to head back up very soon and retest that high-low MMA. I do think we're going to get back to $7,400 fairly quickly, and I'm going to explain why. So one thing is we pulled back down to 6,300, which is practically our bottom support. You can see it's right around here where the bottom of the shoulders are on the previous inverse head and shoulders. But I do think we're going to consolidate now and slowly trade up. You can see this second candle that's right here is starting to retrace back upwards. And you can see as I jump to the 4-hour for Bitcoin that there is consolidation right now. You can see why we had some sort of support here. So we were retraced. We were on this uptrend right here. We faced a lot of resistance at $7,400. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6 candles of just consolidation and sheer downwards pressure that could not make the price move at all. And then we pulled back down to the high-low MMA support right here. You can see we had 1, 2, 3, if not 4 candles above the high-low MMA on the 4-hour. And then we pulled back down again, broke through it, and found bottom support at $6,300. I don't think we're going to break $6,300. You can see 1, 2, 3, if not 4 candles retested that low, and it's just shot the price right back up. So there's definitely a lot of buying orders open at 6,300, and that's keeping the price up. You know what I'm saying? So one thing to note is on the 4-hour, we are so oversold. Like we were at one point lower than 20, if not like 19 or 18 on the relative strength index, and we're currently at 20, and that's so low. You know, 30 is where we enter a more neutral territory, and 50 is about even on the RSI. So the fact that we're literally only 20 means that we're definitely going to be moving back up. I do think within the next couple of hours, if not by tomorrow or the day after that, we should definitely move back up and be hopefully above $6,600. But we are so oversold right now that we're definitely going to be moving up very, very, very soon. Moving on to Litecoin, I know this got impacted quite a bit. We're looking at this at the 4-hour, and you can see it kind of had the same effect. So not only did we have this uptrend, kind of an unstable uptrend, it wasn't something that was going to hold long term, but you guys can see it, we kind of strayed away. We bounced up off of the RSI and the high-low MMA, started to move back upwards, transitioned upwards. You can see we double topped right here, which is a indicator of a bearish movement, and that is why we pulled back down. But we also strayed quite far away from this support level right here. So one thing that I was paying attention to was I figured we would come back down to the support, which we did, and it was kind of like, are we going to maintain this and then retest the $70 barrier again, or are we going to break down farther? And that's clearly what happened. You guys can see we used this as support right here. We have a candle right here where we were trading sideways, and then we fell back down farther, and we're back down to my purple line of support. So I truly do think we're going to be moving back up. We were oversold, currently back to 30, so we do have potential still to move back up, maybe not at a more effective rate compared to Bitcoin, but I do think we're going to head back up. I do think very, very, very soon we're going to head right to 61, 62, retest that high-low MMA on the 4-hour for Litecoin. And then zooming out to the daily, you can see pretty much what happened. You can see the uptrend right here, very unstable. You can see it retested 68, was bearish and broke bearish, and then we fell back down. You can see how we did fall below 53, and then we retraced right back up above the $55 support. And like I say, this is a massive, massive, massive support, $55. And yes, we can trade below that, as you can see here, but we do end up trading back above it it, or we do move back above it. So I do think things look quite nice. Hopefully that explains why we broke bearish here. It's interesting, like I said, why that kind of ties in. Is it a coincidence with that news? I would like your opinions on that. Like, news comes out bearish, and at the same time we retested a very crucial resistance. So it's interesting that those both happen at the same time. But I do think consolidation is due right now. We're looking very nice actually for the daily on the RSI for Litecoin, only at 40, so plenty of potential to move upwards, and I do think we will. I do think this is going to potentially be a resistance now if we don't just trade sideways. I'm actually just going to delete this. I don't think it's really necessary at the moment, if it lets me. All right. There we go. So I do think 68 is definitely potential, and it's still in play. I truly do think we're going to go back up to there very soon. I think consolidation is due for the next maybe 2 or 3 days, and then we're going to start heading back up. I don't think we're going to be going lower, in my opinion. Lastly, let's look at Ethereum, the top 3, the last of the top 3 blue chip cryptos. You can see again all of this congestion right here. Wow, Jesus, so much congestion for Ethereum. You can see it's trying to battle its 4-hour high-low MMA, could not break above, and it plummeted all the way back down to 220, which you can see I've drawn its support right there. Again, it is so oversold, so I do think these are good buying opportunities if you've never entered the market, and I do think we're going to pull back up very, very, very soon. And then lastly, MCO, a coin that I have not heard of, but I wanted to show you guys something about it. So you guys can see, like, Litecoin fell, Bitcoin fell, Ethereum fell, they all fell, but there are altcoins and there are coins that don't get affected by news like this, that aren't directly tied in with Bitcoin's price movement. So you can see we actually went up. We're actually trading positive for MCO, and you can see how strong of this daily high-low MMA it's playing out, because it retested it right here, couldn't hold that level right there and pulled back down. So it is a strong resistance, you know. But that pretty much is what I wanted to show you guys, just the fact that there are other altcoins that don't trade the way the market tends to. They actually do the opposite. So I just wanted you guys to broaden your horizon and look at coins that actually could be positive on a market that's trading negative. But that's going to sum up the episode for today, guys. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace.